In summer, Percy and Duck like working at the harbour by the sea. On a clear night, there is no better place to be. The big ships bring passengers. Cargo ships carry machinery and other things. Duck and Percy puff backwards and forwards with the crates of cargo as they are loaded and unloaded by the quayside. One morning, Duck and Percy noticed that the quayside was decorated with flags and banners. They found it most curious. Not long after, the horizon was packed with colourful sails flapping against the blue sky. "I wish I could sail to faraway lands," sighed Duck. "Engines can't go sailing," snorted Percy, "because engines can't float." Duck still had his dreams. Suddenly, they were rudely interrupted by a buzzing noise. Percy found it painfully familiar. "Wake here," hovered Harold. "I'm looking at the boats," replied Duck. "Oh, that's the regatta," whirred Harold. "Lots of boats, lots of races. It's all great fun. I hover around in case I'm needed." Percy rolled his eyes. Duck, on the other hand, took great interest. "You go to the horizon?" he asked. "Yes, and beyond." "I didn't know there was a beyond," whispered Percy. "You go to other places at sea?" continued Duck. "Certainly. I can land on ships, you know. Anywhere, any time." And almost before he finished boasting, Harold took off. "Goodbye," he said urgently. Duck sighed. He went on talking about the regatta all day. At last, Percy lost patience. "Well, Duck, I'd rather have my wheels on solid ground. Our rails can take us to all the places we could ever wish to see." Before Duck could say anything, a siren started to wail. Both engines were suddenly alert. "That's an emergency," called Duck's driver. "I'll check with the harbour master." He returned with bad news. "A man taking part in the regatta has hurt his hand. We're to take him to the hospital at Edward Station. Harold's bringing him now. Come on." Duck wasted no time. He collected the nearest brake van he could and arrived at the quayside just in time to meet Harold. "Good to see you again, Duck," whirred Harold as he landed carefully on the platform. The man was gently helped to safety. "My job is to stay at sea in case of other emergencies," explained Harold. "Otherwise I would take this gentleman to hospital myself." Once the man was helped onto the brake van, Harold took off again. "Must fly. Goodbye." Duck set off on his journey. Soon he was steaming well and his wheels were thundering along the track as he waddled over bridges and through a tunnel. All traffic along the line was halted and shunted to give Duck a clear path. He was most careful not to bump his brake van. Bertie, who was waiting for Duck at the next station, arrived just before he could see Duck flying into the station yard. He watched in admiration. As the man was helped along the platform, he thanked everyone, and Bertie got ready to take him to the hospital. "Don't worry," said Bertie. "The roadwork's finished a week ago. It'll be a smooth ride to the hospital today." "Oh, I am glad," panted Duck. "And well done to you. You did look splendid flying along the line, Duck. No wonder they call you Great Western." And with that, Bertie set off for the hospital. Duck went onto a siding for a well-earned drink. "He's right, you know," thought Duck to himself. "I do indeed look splendid. And perhaps Percy's right too. An engine really is happiest when their wheels are firmly on the rails." That night, Percy and Duck stayed a little longer at the quay. The air was warm and the sea calm. With the regatta finished, the last few boats were mooring alongside the quay. "There's a shooting star," observed Duck. "Don't be daft," laughed Percy. He could hear a familiar buzzing. "It's Harold. Look, he's hovering overhead. And sure enough he was. He hovered in place above the engines. Suddenly, something fluttered down towards Duck. His driver caught it. "It's a flag from the regatta! Signed in your honour too!" He showed Duck the writing on the flag. "Harold's giving it to you as a present, Duck." "Well, that was kind of Harold," whispered Duck. "He may have whirly arms instead of wheels, but he seems to understand just what an engine needs." Duck still wonders about the lands beyond the horizon, but he enjoys being with friends most of all, and I think he knows that sometimes the best travels are those you can only dream about. Don't you? The impact you have had on Thomas, and the influence you've had over children across the world, will never be forgotten. Thank you, Britt Allcroft. Thank you.